Welcome back to Autovault. There are vehicles that arrive quietly, and then there are vehicles that arrive like a shockwave, a ripple through the automotive world, a reminder of what power used to feel like, a reminder of what dominance used to look like. And now, in 2027, that reminder has returned. The GMC Hummer H2 Sports. Not a revival, not a tribute, not nostalgia, a reinvention, a modern, athletic, performance-focused evolution of the legendary H2. Rebuilt for a new era, re-engineered for a new generation, and redesigned with a level of precision the old H2 could only dream of. Take a breath, because the moment you see it, you understand something immediately. This isn't the old H2. This isn't a retro throwback. This isn't a boxy brute from the early 2000s. This is the H2 reborn as a sports performance SUV. Leaner, sharper, more aggressive, more athletic, and more technologically advanced than anything that ever carried the Hummer badge. Walk up to it, and the first thing you feel is presence. Not the exaggerated, oversized presence of the original H2. Not the military-derived presence of the H1. Not the futuristic EV presence of the Hummer EV. This is a new kind of presence. Presence built on stance, on proportion, on athletic geometry. The H2 Sports stands wide, low for a Hummer, planted, stable, ready. It looks less like a traditional SUV and more like a performance truck fused with a modern off-road coupe. Pause and let your eyes trace the silhouette. The roofline is lower. The beltline is higher. The windows are slimmer. The body is sculpted. Every line feels intentional. Every angle feels engineered. Every surface feels athletic. This is not a box. This is a shape designed for speed, a shape designed for capability, a shape designed for dominance. Move toward the front, and the face of the H2 Sports tells you everything you need to know. The grille is bold, but not oversized. It's a modern interpretation of the classic H2 grille, tightened, sharpened, and infused with LED accents that glow like molten metal. The headlights are razor-thin, blade-like, aggressive. They don't just illuminate, they strike. The DRL signature forms a sharp, angular pattern, a new identity for the H2 Sports, instantly recognizable, unmistakably Hummer. Pause and look at the hood. The sculpted, muscular, aerodynamic, not flat, not bulky, not heavy. It features heat extraction vents, performance ridges, and a central spine that runs from the windshield to the grille like a backbone. This hood doesn't just cover an engine, it announces it. Walk around the side, and the proportions begin to speak. The wheel arches are squared, a nod to the original H2, but they're tighter, more refined, more athletic. The wheels themselves are massive.
22-inch Fokker alloy.
Deep concave profile, wrapped in performance all-terrain tires designed for both grip and aggression. The side profile is clean, minimal, purposeful.
No unnecessary chrome. No exaggerated cladding. No bulky plastic.
Just sculpted metal, sharp lines, and a stance that looks ready to sprint. Pause and look at the mirrors. Aerodynamic, slim, functional. A departure from the oversized mirrors of the past. These are built for speed, not nostalgia. The door handles sit flush. The side skirts are reinforced. The lower body features a performance aero kit designed to reduce drag and increase stability at high speeds. This is not a retro SUV. This is a performance machine. Move toward the rear, and the design becomes even more dramatic. The taillights glow with a vertical LED signature. Sharp, modern, aggressive. The rear window is slim. The roof spoiler is pronounced. The bumper is sculpted with integrated exhaust ports and a diffuser that looks like it belongs on a performance truck. Pause and take a step back, because the full silhouette of the H2 Sports is something entirely new. It's not bulky. It's not clumsy. It's not exaggerated. It's athletic. It's modern. It's powerful. It looks like a Hummer that went to the gym, a Hummer that trained, a Hummer that evolved. And that evolution is not just visual. Underneath the sculpted body is a powertrain engineered for performance.
A twin turbo 4.0 litres V8.
Hybrid assisted, sport tuned, producing a combined 640 horsepower and 685 lb-ft of torque. Pause and let that sink in. This is not the old H2's heavy, thirsty V8. This is a modern, efficient, high-output engine paired with an electric performance motor that fills torque gaps, sharpens throttle response, and delivers instant acceleration. The result? A 0 to 60 time of 4.3 seconds. In a Hummer, a top speed of 155 miles per hour. In a Hummer, a performance AWD system with torque vectoring. In a Hummer, this is not a revival. This is a reinvention. The H2 Sports is built for speed, built for capability, built for dominance. But speed is only half the story. The chassis is reinforced. The suspension is adaptive. The steering is sport-tuned. The H2 Sports doesn't just move fast. It moves precisely. Corners. It grips. It rotates. It behaves like a performance SUV, not a bulky off-roader. Pause and imagine the moment you step inside. The interior is not rugged, not retro, not military-inspired. It's modern, sporty, driver-focused. But that's part two. Right now, we're still outside, still absorbing the shape, still feeling the energy. Because the exterior of the H2 Sports is a promise. Promise of performance, promise of capability, promise of evolution. And the best part? Keeps that promise. Every angle, every line, every detail. It all points to one truth. The 2027 GMC Hummer H2 Sports is not here to imitate the past. It's here to redefine the future. Pause and let the final thought settle. This is not the H2 you remember. This is the H2 the world wasn't ready for. Until now. Open the door, and the world changes. The exterior of the H2 Sports is all aggression, stance, muscle, and athletic geometry. But the moment you step inside, everything becomes focused. Not soft, not luxurious, not delicate, focused. Like stepping into a performance cockpit. Like entering a machine built for precision. Like sitting in a place where every detail exists for one purpose. To make you feel in control. Take a breath and let the atmosphere settle. Because the interior of the 2027 GMC Hummer H2 Sports is not trying to imitate luxury SUVs. It's trying to redefine what a performance SUV interior should feel like. The first thing you notice is the seating position. It's high, but not truck high. It's commanding, but not bulky. It's athletic, but not cramped. You sit in a position that feels like a fusion between a performance coupe and a modern off-road machine. Your view is wide. Your posture is upright. Your reach is perfect. Pause and look at the seats. They're sculpted, thick, supportive, not soft, not plush, not lounge-like. These seats are built for movement, for cornering, for acceleration, for terrain. The bolsters hug your torso. The cushioning is firm. The stitching is bold. The leather is mixed with performance synthetics. Materials chosen not for luxury, but for durability and grip. Sit down, and the seat doesn't just hold you. It locks you in. Not aggressively, not tightly, just enough to let you know this vehicle expects you to drive. Pause and look at the steering wheel. It's thick, squared at the bottom, wrapped in leather with perforated grips. The stitching is contrast-colored. The controls are chunky. The paddles behind the wheel are metallic and cold. This is not a luxury steering wheel. This is a performance steering wheel. Your hands wrap around it, and it feels like holding onto something engineered for speed. Not comfort, speed. Your eyes move to the dashboard, and the design philosophy becomes clear. This is not minimalism. This is not retro. This is not rugged. This is sport tech. Sharp lines, layered surfaces, metallic accents, performance textures. The dashboard stretches across the cabin like a piece of equipment, not a decorative panel. It feels structural. It feels reinforced. It feels intentional. Pause and look at the screens. Two massive digital displays glow with cinematic clarity. The driver display is sharp, angular, aggressive. The graphics look like they were designed for a performance video game, but refined for real-world driving. The tachometer pulses. The speedometer glows. The hybrid power meter animates with electric intensity. Every movement is smooth. Every transition is fluid. Every detail feels engineered. The center screen is even larger, even brighter, even more commanding. The interface is bold. The icons are chunky. The menus are simple. This is not a delicate touchscreen meant for gentle taps. This is a touchscreen meant for real driving, for gloves, for dust, for movement. Pause and look at the center console. It's thick, white, sculpted. The gear selector is a block of metal and rubber, heavy, mechanical, satisfying. You push it forward, and the movement feels engineered, precise, purposeful. The drive mode dial sits beside it, a metallic wheel with deep grooves and a satisfying click. Sport mode, track mode, off-road mode, hybrid boost mode. Each mode changes the personality of the H2 Sports. Each mode transforms the machine beneath you. Each mode feels like unlocking a new version of the vehicle. Pause and look at the materials. This interior is not soft. It's not plush. It's not delicate. It's durable. It's athletic. It's performance-focused. Leather mixed with Alcantara. Metal mixed with carbon fiber. Rubberized grips mixed with reinforced plastics. Everything feels like it belongs in a performance SUV. Nothing feels ornamental. Nothing feels unnecessary. Nothing feels fragile. Your fingers slide across the dashboard, and the textures feel engineered. Not decorative. Engineered. Move your eyes to the door panels. They're thick, layered, sculpted. The handles are metallic. The armrests are padded. The lighting glows with a sharp, cool tone. Not warm, not ambient, not luxurious. Cool, focused, sporty. Pause and look at the pedals. Metal, white, grippy. They feel like performance truck pedals, ready for boots, dirt, and aggressive driving. Your foot rests on the accelerator, and the pedal feels firm, responsive, precise. This is not a soft pedal. This is a performance pedal. Your eyes drift upward, and the roof reveals a surprise. A panoramic performance roof, not fully glass, but segmented with structural beams and reinforced panels. It lets in light. It opens the cabin. It adds drama, but it also maintains rigidity, strength, stability, because this is a performance SUV, not a lounge. Pause and look behind you. The rear seats are sculpted like the front, not bench-like, not soft, not compromised. They're supportive, athletic, ready. Rear passengers don't sit in the back. They sit in a secondary performance zone. The legroom is generous. The headroom is strong. The seating position is elevated. The rear cabin feels like a continuation of the front, not an afterthought. The screens glow with the same aggressive interface. The vents are sculpted. The materials are durable. Everything feels consistent. Everything feels intentional. Everything feels engineered. Pause and look at the cargo area. It's wide, flat, reinforced. The floor is rubberized. The walls are padded. The space feels ready for gear. Sports gear, adventure gear, performance equipment. This is not a trunk. This is storage. Real storage. Your eyes drift back to the front, and the ambient lighting glows softly. Not warm, not luxurious, not decorative. Cool, sharp, focused. It highlights the edges. It traces the surfaces. Creates a performance atmosphere. Pause and listen. The cabin is quiet, but not luxury quiet. Performance quiet. The hybrid system eliminates engine noise at low speeds. The insulation blocks wind. The structure absorbs vibration. But the silence feels intentional, not soft. It feels like the calm before acceleration, the calm before torque. the calm before movement. This is not a cabin designed for relaxation. It's a cabin designed for readiness. Pause and breathe, because the interior of the H2 Sports is not trying to be luxurious. It's trying to be athletic. It's trying to be modern. It's trying to be precise. It's trying to be capable. It's trying to be the cockpit of a performance SUV built for a new era. And it succeeds. Everywhere you look, everywhere you touch, everywhere you sit, you feel the intention, the engineering, the focus, the capability. This is not a cabin designed for comfort. It's a cabin designed for control. And the control is yours. Pause and let the final thought settle. This interior is not here to impress you. It's here to prepare you. Prepare you for speed. Prepare you for torque. Prepare you for terrain. Prepare you for the future. Because the 2027 GMC Hummer H2 Sports is not just a performance SUV. It's a performance experience. And this cabin is your command center. Press the start button, and the H2 Sports doesn't roar. It doesn't growl. It doesn't shake. It wakes. A deep, controlled hum from the twin-turbo V8. A subtle electric whir from the hybrid motor. A fusion of combustion and electricity that feels modern and powerful. Take a breath, because the moment you shift into drive, the personality of the H2 Sports reveals itself. It doesn't creep forward. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't ease into motion. It moves. Smooth, immediate, confident. The hybrid motor fills the first millisecond of acceleration.
Instant torque, instant response, instant push.
Then the V8 joins in. Not loudly, not aggressively, but with authority. The two power sources blend seamlessly. No lag, no gaps, no drama, just propulsion. Pause and feel the steering. It's tight, precise, surprisingly athletic. You expect heaviness, because the H2 name carries weight. But the H2 Sports feels engineered to defy its own size. The steering communicates clearly. It guides confidently. It responds instantly. This is not truck steering. This is performance steering. Your hands tighten around the wheel, and you feel the chassis beneath you. Rigid, stable, balanced. The reinforced frame and adaptive suspension work together like a single organism. Reading the road, adjusting the dampers, controlling the body. Every bump is absorbed. Every dip is neutralized. Every motion feels intentional. Pause and press the accelerator deeper. The hybrid boost kicks in. The V8 opens up. The torque vectoring system begins to work. The H2 Sports doesn't just accelerate. It launches. Your body presses into the seat. Your eyes widen. Your mind recalibrates. Because this is not the acceleration of a traditional SUV. This is the acceleration of a performance machine. The 0 to 60 happens in 4.3 seconds, but it feels faster. Not because of noise, not because of drama, but because of immediacy. Electric torque arrives instantly. Turbocharged power arrives forcefully. The AWD system distributes everything with precision. Pause and listen. The cabin remains calm. The engine remains controlled. The hybrid motor remains silent. This is not chaotic acceleration. This is engineered acceleration. Your eyes drift to the digital cluster, and the graphics animate with intensity. The hybrid boost meter fills. The torque distribution map pulses. The performance gauges glow. Everything feels alive. Everything feels connected. Everything feels ready. Pause and turn the wheel. The H2 Sports rotates with confidence. Not loosely, not sluggishly, not unpredictably. It rotates like a performance SUV. The torque vectoring system pushes power to the outside wheels. The suspension stiffens. The chassis stays flat. You feel the grip. You feel the control. You feel the engineering. This is not the old H2's body roll. This is modern athleticism. Your foot eases off the accelerator, and the hybrid motor takes over. The vehicle glides, silent, smooth, effortless. Regenerative braking engages subtly, capturing energy slowing the vehicle, stabilizing the motion. Pause, and switch modes. Sport mode sharpens the throttle. Track mode stiffens the suspension. Hybrid boost mode unleashes full electric torque. Off-road mode transforms the entire personality. You select off-road mode, and the H2 Sports becomes something else. The suspension lifts. The AWD system recalibrates. The traction control loosens. The vehicle feels taller, stronger, more primal. Pause, and leave the pavement. The terrain changes. The surface becomes uneven. The world becomes unpredictable. But the H2 Sports remains calm. The adaptive suspension reads the ground. The motors adjust torque instantly. The V8 provides steady power. Every rock, every dip, every obstacle. The H2 Sports absorbs it. Not softly, not gently, effectively. Your hands tighten on the wheel, and you feel the confidence. The steering remains precise. The chassis remains stable. The traction remains strong. This is not a performance SUV pretending to be off-road capable. This is a performance SUV engineered to be off-road dominant. Pause and climb. The incline rises. The angle steepens. The terrain becomes rough. But the H2 Sports doesn't hesitate. The hybrid motor delivers instant torque. The V8 provides sustained power. The AWD system distributes everything perfectly. The vehicle climbs like it's being pulled upward by an invisible force. No sleeping, no struggling, no drama, just controlled ascent. Pause and descend. The slope drops. Gravity takes over. The terrain becomes unpredictable. But the H2 Sports remains composed. Regenerative braking controls the descent. The suspension adjusts. The traction system stabilizes. You feel the control. You feel the engineering. You feel the confidence. This is not off-roading with brute force. This is off-roading with intelligence. Your eyes drift to the terrain cameras. Multiple angles, multiple perspectives, multiple views. The rocks below. The wheels above. The path ahead. Everything is visible. Everything is clear. Everything is helpful. This is not off-roading blindly. This is off-roading with vision. Pause and accelerate again. The hybrid motor pushes instantly. The V8 joins smoothly. The AWD system grips confidently. The H2 Sports doesn't just move. It charges. Across dirt. Across gravel. Across uneven terrain. The suspension absorbs chaos. The chassis stays stable. The steering stays precise. This is not a heavy SUV fighting terrain. This is a performance SUV conquering terrain. Pause and return to pavement. The transition is seamless. The personality shifts instantly. The vehicle becomes athletic again. The H2 Sports doesn't feel confused. It feels adaptable. It doesn't feel compromised. It feels engineered. It doesn't feel like two vehicles. It feels like one machine with multiple personalities. And each personality is dominant. Pause and breathe, because the driving experience of the H2 Sports is not about speed, not about luxury, not about nostalgia. It's about capability. Capability on pavement, capability off pavement, capability in silence, capability in power. The H2 Sports doesn't try to imitate the past. It tries to surpass it, and it succeeds. Every movement, every sound, every sensation, every detail, it all points to one truth. This is not the H2 you remember. This is the H2 the world wasn't ready for. Until now, there's a moment, after the acceleration, after the climb, after the silence of hybrid torque becomes familiar, where the truth settles in. A truth you don't get from brochures. A truth you don't get from marketing. A truth you don't get from nostalgia. A truth you only get from experience. And the experience of the 2027 GMC Hummer H2 Sports is something entirely new. Take a breath, because the more time you spend with this machine, the more you understand what GMC has done. They didn't revive the H2. They didn't modernize the H2. They didn't soften the H2. They re-engineered it. They rebuilt it from the ground up. They reshaped its identity. They redefined its purpose. This is not a bulky SUV from the early 2000s. This is not a nostalgia play. This is not a retro tribute. This is the H2 evolved into a sports performance SUV. A machine built for speed, capability, precision, and dominance. Pause and think about the exterior again. That athletic stance, that sculpted body, that aerodynamic aggression, that modern interpretation of the H2 silhouette. It doesn't look like a revival. It looks like a successor to the H2's legacy of presence, but rebuilt for a world that demands performance. Then think about the interior, the cockpit-like layout, the sculpted seats, the thick steering wheel, the performance textures, the hybrid boost gauges glowing with intensity. This is not a luxury cabin. This is not a retro cabin. This is not a rugged cabin. This is a sports cabin, a place built for control, not comfort. Pause and remember the drive, the instant hybrid torque, the twin-turbo surge, the torque vectoring rotation, the adaptive suspension absorbing chaos, the AWD system distributing power with intelligence. The way the H2 Sports launches, the way it corners, the way it climbs, the way it descends, the way it adapts. This is not the driving experience of a traditional Hummer. This is not the driving experience of a heavy SUV. This is not the driving experience of a nostalgic off-roader. This is the driving experience of a performance machine. Pause and let the contrast settle. The original H2 was loud, heavy, brutal, unrefined. The H2 Sports is precise, athletic, engineered, intentional. The original H2 was about presence. The H2 Sports is about capability. The original H2 was about size. The H2 Sports is about performance. The original H2 was about attitude. The H2 Sports is about execution. Pause and look at the horizon, because the H2 Sports is not just a vehicle. It's a direction for performance SUVs, a direction for hybrid powertrains, a direction for modern off-road engineering, a direction for the Hummer brand itself, a direction that says, the future of dominance is athletic, the future of capability is intelligent, the future of power is hybrid, and the H2 Sports is leading that future. Pause and consider what this means. This machine is wide, strong, muscular, yet it moves with grace, with control, with precision. It's loud in presence, but quiet in motion. It's aggressive in design, but refined in behavior. It's extreme in capability, but modern in technology. It's a contradiction, fusion, a new category. The H2 Sports is not trying to be a traditional Hummer. It's trying to be the next evolution of Hummer. And it succeeds. Pause and take one last look around the cabin. The performance screens glowing with hybrid intensity. The sculpted seats holding you firmly. The metallic paddles waiting for acceleration. The ambient lighting tracing the edges like neon on a track. This is not a place for relaxation. It's a place for readiness. A place for people who don't just drive, they command. A place for people who don't just explore, they push limits. A place for people who don't just want capability, they want dominance. Pause and breathe, because the final truth is simple. The 2027 GMC Hummer H2 Sports is not here to imitate the past. It's here to surpass it. Surpass the old H2's power. Surpass the old H2's capability. Surpass the old H2's identity. It's not subtle. It's not polite. It's not restrained. It's bold. It's athletic. It's engineered. And the world is about to witness what a modern Hummer can truly be when it's built for performance. Pause and let the final words settle. This is not the H2 you remember. This is the H2 the world wasn't ready for until now. This is the H2 Sports, and it's dominant. If you enjoyed this full cinematic deep dive into the 2027 GMC Hummer H2 Sports, Make sure you subscribe to Autovault for more long-form luxury and performance showcases. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and tell me which vehicle you want me to dissect next. Your support fuels these cinematic productions. And trust me, the next one is already in motion.